I read somewhere once that it's better to be hated for who you are than loved for who you are not. So who is Deetranada?
If no one knew you.
Unpredictable.
I go down with that AR. Tips you for no reason like JR. AR, watch me blow up like a napalm. Cue me, they kill it offset, then I take off.
Outspoken. Pounded out. I ain't think the industry was fake until I found that out. See, I can rap my ass off, but unless I'm showing ass off, I got a pretty face, they gonna skip me just like a bad car. So, and fearless.
What's the last one?
Fearless. Because I'm not afraid to like speak my mind, and I'm not afraid to be myself. Like,
a lot of people had this misconception that I was, gay. They were saying a lot of homophobic slurs, a lot of transphobic slurs. Mm-hmm. But another thing people didn't know about me when I was growing up, so I wasn't comfortable showing my body at all.
But those 3 words are just a surface level look at the multitude of dimensions inside the Nada world. From the very start, regardless of which side you fell on, as soon as Deetranada arrived on Lifetime's popular show The Rap Game, she immediately became one of the more polarizing kids on the show. With her unique style, aggressive flow, and unforgettable Baltimore accent, with her talent for putting together bars with cadences older, more seasoned rap vets could only dream about, Deetranada has always been unapologetically herself. She's battled abuse, depression, and grew up in a tough environment, and still became a voice for so many people that are going through similar issues. So I'm gonna show y'all what she's up to nowadays. But like always, we're gonna have to take a look back and see where Deetranada came from so we can fully grasp how far she's come. Yo, y'all been showing crazy support, man, and I appreciate every single one of y'all, literally. If you just watch the video, like it, you subscribe, I really do appreciate every single one of y'all. I could have never imagined the page would grow this fast. Thank you so much for all the support. But I'm not going to hold you up for too long talking. We're going to get right back into the video. Let's go ahead and blast right back into this. Diamond Barmer, aka Deetranada, was born on June 25th in 2001 in Baltimore, Maryland. For anyone who's been to Baltimore, you know it's a tough city. And I could guess that it would be especially tough for a kid to grow up in. Info on her childhood isn't the most plentiful on the internet, but with some digging, I was able to get a little bit of a clearer picture. Growing up, she would listen to her parents, David and Brandy Barmer's CDs, which often inspired her with the taste in music that they had. She would listen to old school Lauryn Hill, Wu-Tang Clan, just a lot of good music back in the day, and you could tell it influenced her style.
One thing too, like in my house, my mom and dad, like when they first started going out, like way back in the day, they used to like collect CDs. Like when the CDs like used to drop, they would stand outside and wait for them. Like the CDs that we have in the house is real CDs from like the first release. So I looked in the CD collection. I'm just looking. I'm like, yo, they got all these like the Wu-Tang CDs. Got into the Tribe Called Quest CDs. I was like, yo, this is so cool. And I was just listening to them, like studying music. Like I used to do that before I started rapping. I used to study.
And as she grew up, it seemed like she grew closer to rap. But growing up seemed tough for Deetranada. Early off, she had to deal with a lot. She stated in multiple interviews that she was more of a loner growing up and kept to herself a lot. And she often had to deal with a lot of bullying, which would result in her fighting a lot.
I used to go to school out the county, and like I didn't have no friends. Like I ain't talk to nobody talked to me. Like niggas used to pick on me because of how I look, because of my clothes.
And then to pair those issues at school and the abuse she would suffer early to some very sick and disgusting circumstances.
I remember telling my parents like, yo, he's weird. Like I don't like being around him. He was like, well, I ain't got no choice but to drop you off over there. Like now, because that played into depression, that played into me having anxiety. Like I don't like telling people like
anybody would understand how it could end up dealing with some depression. She officially made her debut rapping in her 7th grade talent show, and then followed it up next year in her 8th grade talent show.
I'm not trying to be cocky, but I had the best performance. Like, it was a confident. No, for real, because people was singing, riffing all over the place. That wasn't cute. There was a magician. There was another girl that tried to rap and tried to diss me in her song for the talent show. I'm like, out of all things that you could have done, like, why would you do that? Right. And after the talent show, everybody was like, yo, she can rap, da-da-da-da-da. So I was just like, all right, bet. Y'all want me to do it next year? And they was like, yeah. So 8th grade talent show, I got kicked out of it. Yo. For something that I did not do.
Didn't even do.
No. And they kicked me out because I wouldn't snitch. I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not.
At the beginning, when she started rapping, she used to go by the name Ironic, but eventually, due to her favorite producer being Deetranada, she made a play off of his name and then connected it to herself.
Well, my favorite producer was Deetranada, right? Okay. I just took the Trinada part, but I used to be in a depressed state, so my name D transformed from nothing. That's why it's Deetranada. But now, like, Deetranada don't like me. And every time I was in the interview, I would explain that I got my name from him, but he thought I was on some copy and swag jacket stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. But that's basically my name. Like, at this point, it's just like my name tells a story.
At the beginning, rap was used as an outlet for her emotions. She was developing a lot of issues that sprung from a lot of the trauma that she had to deal with in her younger years. After being kicked out of her 8th grade talent show, Deetranada and her family would get some studio time at Above Ground Studios just in time for her birthday, where she would record some of her first higher quality tracks. Up until this point, she had just been recording things off of her phone. So since she knew that this studio time was coming, she pulled some beats off of YouTube and SoundCloud and got up in the studio and went to work. Even early off, with her first time in the studio, she caught the attention of Lawrence Burney, who's a staple in Baltimore media just all around. He got a really long track record and just working in a lot of facets of the media in Baltimore and the DMV area. So it definitely was a good person to impress. Everyone in the studio would see that a future star was forming in front of him. Her older brother, PJ, aka Platinum J, who was also her manager on the Rap Game show, immediately took interest in his sister's talent and assisted her in garnering more exposure. PJ was already familiar with the rap industry. He used to be a dancer / choreographer and even shared the stage with the same OG, Genuine. They would start by building buzz online, and with Deetranada growing her own platform, she would eventually start tagging Jermaine Dupri in some of her posts, D-mixes as she coined them, where she was freestyling, tearing up everybody's beats.
Make sure you tag Jermaine Dupri and all them.
Eventually, she did catch his attention, and she got on to season 3 of the Rap Game. Deetranada would struggle early on in the competition, but everyone could clearly see the talent was there.
Girl, I run up in your crib like you Osama bin Laden and snatch your wallet. Maybe uppercut your mama for a while and you thought
She just needed time to grow. Throughout the show, she would build close bonds with most of the other people on the cast, but there were also a couple other points where her emotions were high and they leaked through as well. From arguments to claims that she was jacking other people's style and rhymes, it was a pretty crazy season, but at the end of the day, she ended up building real bonds with some of her castmates and castmates from other seasons. Nova was ultimately the winner of the chain, and of course, Nova is somebody else that I've also made a video on. Make sure y'all go back and check that one out if you haven't already. I thought it was really interesting that about a week ago from the time that this video will post, Deetranada went on a live stream. Interesting that she ended up having this to say about Nova.
But I'm going to speak real briefly on this. Out of respect for him, you feel me? But Nova, I don't know, you feel me, people around them, because even though I was on the Rap Game with all these other kids, I really hope y'all know that niggas was on the show, niggas had a tour and all that, for real. Life started happening, niggas went about their different ways. Contract clauses started coming up, for real, so niggas wasn't obligated to do shows and shit no more, and it was really left up to us to keep the momentum going and shit, for real. And a lot of motherfuckers faded away. A lot of motherfuckers kept out of contact. A lot of motherfuckers, you feel me, switched up and put their nose up and shit, for real. But a lot of motherfuckers, I say, like, we wasn't there for each other. I be getting so irritated when motherfuckers talk about the Rap Game, but I just be sitting there and listening to them, because at the end of the day, y'all don't know. I can sit here and tell you about every single experience I done had and shit regarding that shit, and you still not gonna feel the same anger and rage that I feel, for real. After we was done with that whole tour and shit, for real, there's a lot of money that was supposed to be paid. Label shit, fucked up label shit. Gladly, I wasn't caught in it, but unfortunately, somebody that I consider my friend at one time was caught in it. I mean, this shit will suck you dry if you ain't built for it, yo. And even if you built for it, it's gonna suck you dry.
And I just thought it was crazy how she alluded to some of the troubles he was going through after winning the chain in the Rap Game. But with all the drama that happened in the Rap Game house, it's understandable why she's remained outspoken and distant when she talks about a Rap Game experience. I think it's safe to say that all the kids that left the Rap Game house didn't leave it a 5-star review. The negative aspects of the Rap Game experience were starting to show. Deetranada had rumors of unpaid debt and allegedly even trauma caused from Jermaine Dupri saying that she needed to have more appeal as a child. It seemed like a lot of people were attacking her for wearing bigger clothes, but most of these groups didn't even give her a chance to be just a child and do what she felt was comfortable. All in all, throughout the rap game process, Deetranada got a taste of what the music industry was like. She was able to develop their craft in the process. In my mind, it seems like she would look at this time as more of a lesson learned than a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But also to me, you can't deny that the exposure from the show was a launch pad that some of these kids could build momentum off of. And that's exactly what Deetranada did next.
I got money, I got a bag, I'm booked and busy.
She definitely did stay busy over the rest of 2017, and it would end up being a pivotal year for her life. Like a lot of the kids from the show, she would end up on the So-So Summer Tour in 2017 and really get a taste of the rapper lifestyle, traveling from show to show all over the country, connecting with some of your fan base and also your tour mates. She would drop her debut mixtape, a spin-off of Cartoon Network's Adult Swim, titled Adolescent Swim. This album would show a deeper look into Deetranada's mindset and her music at the time, and it seems like she was experimenting with a lot of sounds.
Yeah, Deetran got the juice. Hey, ads on the shirt. You can go.
Boom.
Yeah, if you come for me, yeah, you gon' regret that.
That year, she did freestyles on all sort of platforms like The Breakfast Club, and she would continue to garner respect in the rap industry. But people had difficulty connecting with Deetranada's content due to her age. That's when she would take a step back and reassess her path, and then double down instead of letting up. This time, instead of letting the critics' outlook on her shape the narrative, in 2019, she would drop her debut album, D vs. Everybody. Already having proven that she could rap with anybody, this album would prove to be more personal and give a more intimate look into her mindset and struggles, especially on tracks like Flaws. She would speak about a lot of the trauma that she went through, and even her suicide attempt January 7th earlier of that year.
I don't know. This song is, I believe, like the most personal song that I ever made, just due to me talking about, of course, my anxiety, of course, my depression, but me having family issues and me talking about how, like, love messed me up, and me talking about losing a friend just off of them leaving me at my worst point. And earlier this year, January 7th, I had a attempt. And I feel like that shifted everything in a sense, because I felt as though I never really wanted attention when it came to stuff like that, but I felt like I was alone, like in my own head, and I couldn't get out of it, so I tried to end it.
Thankfully, she is still here with us today. Her rapping about the struggles that so many go through helped her already loyal fan base become even more so. At this point, Deetranada was going to fight back even against those who she once called close. Most who watched the show remembered the minor beefs with Tally or Nova, but around this time period, anybody could get the smoke. And I have seen so many clips and screenshots, I could make an entire rap game beef video. The infamous at this point back and forth with Super Peach, or as D would call her,
Like, you a fruit, you a mute, you ain't saying nothing.
But there were also a lot of little smaller beefs that a lot of people didn't know about, like her allegedly claiming Jermaine Dupri owed her money after the So-So Def tour.
I don't like talking about that show because that shit was tough. And to be honest, I ain't trying to bash it, be funny, but niggas y'all call legends walking around, they owe me money. Why they complain?
Either with other kids like Bonnie.
Are we talking about money? Yes, we talking about money. Hey, ain't my fault he got mad and decided to unfollow me off Instagram.
Little Nico.
But you sure did get mad when I said half of what? Okay, Nikwa, you got it.
I think D vs. Everybody was literally a perfect title for the time and point that she was at in her life. And as crazy as it even got to a point where she said she was being used by family and friends and kind of just feeling isolated and alone. The album D vs. Everybody to me showed the maturation in Deetranada over the 2 years that she was gone, but it also showed that there was still so much growing left to do. She would continue to build buzz, doing freestyles on multiple platforms through the next couple of months, up until she arrived at her next destination, Nada World.
Not a world, ho, hey, not a world, bitch, girl, not a world, ho, hey, not a world.
She dropped her sophomore album, Nada World, at the beginning of 2022, and at this point in time, it just felt like Deetranada fully let go of the expectations and just started enjoying the process.
D versus everybody.
everybody, like even from my name, it's telling a story. D transformed from nothing mindset I used to have in myself. D versus everybody, saying fuck everybody, but realizing the real problem is within myself and what I look at in myself. You feel me? Now the world, realizing the world been mine the whole time. Fuck am I worried about? You feel me? Like I'm having fun with the shit. Like,
I like that.
Hold on, I gotta crush them. Not a world too.
Enjoying it so much that just a couple days ago on November 18th, or a couple days ago depending on when I get this video edited, she dropped Not a World 2. I wanted to wait to listen to the whole album before I gave y'all this video so I could have the most up-to-date info as possible. I literally just got done bumping that tape, so if y'all haven't heard the album yet, make sure y'all go to y'all streaming app or her YouTube or something and check it out. Y'all let her know that Stone Astro sent you. But as the music would show, you could see today that Deetranada is still grinding. Also, she just had a crazy commercial for Nike for the Air Force Ones.
What you need, we gon' get it done. See me cutting these Air Force Ones.
She killed the cypher at the BET Hip Hop Awards.
I'ma show you who bad, most known, and I don't have to flash. I got me some front, so I shine when I laugh.
And she even gotten into fashion with her Fashion Nova sponsorship.
New photos coming soon. Fashion Nova down.
That's a cat.
At this point, all the hard work that she's been putting in is paying off.
I've been moving smarter. My team has been moving smarter. I've managed to get on Madden 22, 2K21, Netflix, HBO Max, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to evolve more and more. I'm booked for South by Southwest.
With over 930,000 followers on Instagram, over 194,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 230,000 on TikTok, and almost 50,000 people listening monthly on Spotify. It's safe to say D is still hustling for her music dreams, but that's the difficult thing about dealing with depression and abuse. It's hard to remove the effects that it makes on your mindset, whether it's abuse from parents or even just abuse from relationships that you chose yourself. It seems to be so much darkness that surrounds Not a World, and it's really reminiscent to me of a singular star inside of the pitch black depths of space. Even if you are the only person left who believes in yourself, it's more than enough. It takes just one star to pierce an entire universe of darkness. To everybody that stuck around to the end of this video, I really do appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for your time though. I do know that your time is valuable and I appreciate anybody that's taking their time to watch these videos. I still got a request for Eli that I'm cooking up. Then we got a new request for Naya Kassan. So we do documentaries on anything over here. This your boy Stone Astro. If y'all got anything that y'all want to see, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. So drop that outro.
I done said a lot of things that I can't take back. And if you wanna know the truth, there's a lot of good things that I know I like. I can't talk to you, I can't tell you the